Good morning, traders, and this is the Dow Jones daily review. Now, we're going to start off on the weekly, and pretty much we ended up with a range bar, so lots of indecisions through the week. One thing that's concerning me is the oscillator is still grouped into the selling zone, and the second thing that is a little bit of a concern, well, if you're chasing longs, that is we do have a bit of a trend line test, or it could be seen as a trend line break on the daily. So let's just get there to the daily. Hate it when the levels don't line up. Okay, so that was the first one, and that is the second one. So we did get a break on the daily. We got a break, we got an indecision bar, and then we've got a retest of the break. So that's the pattern that I'm seeing here. Okay, it is also a bigger downtrend break as well. So we've got merit for a move to the downside, we've got merit for a move back to the upside on the daily. So that to me is confusion, and we need to start looking at the lower time frames just to see where we're going. At this stage, I see this as a potential consolidation area. Okay, this trend line that's been broken, obviously I'd want to see a retest, which would give us a double top on the daily, and that would then give me my levels. So these two levels that I've drawn in here are pretty much the levels we need to watch. So 25,445 and 24,884. Okay, 25,445 and 24,884. Those are the levels we need to watch. So break above gives us move to the upside, break below gives move to the downside. The thing on the daily is that this trend line has broken. And if I just do that, that was the original trend line. First fractal, second fractal. Ignore that for now. We've tested it there. We've broken, but we haven't tested. So logic also dictates that there is a merit for a move to the downside to come and test this 200 moving average. Okay, and that would probably give us a broader channel of sorts, something like that, or even we could be there. Okay, so a little bit of indecision at the moment. I think on the 4 hour it's not going to give us much better. So 4 hour we've broken through the alligator at the downside, so you're expecting a retest of the break and a second move to the downside. Now this is getting messy now with all my lines, but what I'm looking for is that. Here we go. Okay, so what I'm actually looking for, I'll start using some of these lines, is a retest of this area of 25,200, and then I'm looking for a second move to the downside to come and test this trend line break, which will correspond with a 4 hour 200 EMA as well. Okay, so let's get to the hour. That's kind of what I'm looking for at the moment. So in other words, looking for a little bit of a move, another bit of a move to the upside, and that should actually just that's the area we need to worry about. Okay, so that's kind of my view at the moment. I'm expecting a little bit more of a rally back to the upside, and then another move down to another move down. Now, bear in mind that this move here was a pretty strong move to the downside. There were a lot of tails in this, so a lot of confusion with all the barbed wire. You can see buyers and sellers not quite knowing what to do. And then we finished off with two solid green bars, but I think that was just profit taking. Okay, so if we just delete all the noise and what you're basically looking for is pretty much a break below 29,093.039 or a break above 25,100. Now, for me at the moment, also being a Monday, this is not crystal clear. So what my advice to you is really wait to see what happens. What you want to do is pick up these levels on the 4-hour. So that's Friday's high and then this previous tail here. So what you're looking for, a shorting area, and let's just go to the 1 hour so you can see it. Anticipating a second move, either here at the high of Friday. Is that the high of Friday? Yes. So either here at the high of Friday, giving us a bit of a double top, or alternatively back to 25,185. That's the area that I'd be looking to get short again, and that's off the 4-hour. I know if we look at the 1 hour, we have got a trend change here, but I'm not convinced. This move down was just too strong. So I would expect another attempt to get down to I would expect another attempt to break below the previous low. Sorry. Okay, last things. Let's just have a look at the ichimoku quickly. So on the 1 hour, we've had a potential trend change brewing, but the cloud is still very, very red and large. So in other words, it's going to offer a lot of resistance in this area. Okay, now if I go back to this area here, just put a level on. So I'm putting a level over here and I'm putting a level over there. If we look at the 4-hour, we've had a crossover. We've bounced off the cloud. So this is bearish and we've bounced off the cloud. So for as long as we stay below Kijinsen, which is this red line, in other words, my stop area is in the correct area. We are expecting another move to the downside. Okay, if I look at the daily, we are bullish. Okay, and we're actually very strongly bullish at the moment. But if we do break below the low of Friday, then you can expect another move to the downside to at least come and test Kijinsen here. So if we look at the lower time frames on ichimoku, we have got a bullish crossover here, but we are in the cloud, so they're pretty much ranging. Nothing much really to read into that, and nothing much really to read into this, except the fact that we are below the cloud. And I just want to have a look at the 3-hour as well. 3 hours giving us, we're in between Kijinsen and Tekinsen, so it's ranging. And 4-hour, we've got diversions from this. But remember what I pointed out on the weekly. Okay, on the weekly, we are still in a bearish trend. And that's purely because of what you see with Kijinsen and Tekinsen here. They haven't crossed over. We are flattening out. So, we could start moving up. So Tekinsen could start moving up to cross over Kijinsen in the cloud, which is a fairly bullish signal for another move. But remember what I said, V reversals are rare. And right now, this here is a V reversal. You want to see a double bottom or an attempt at a higher low. And we haven't seen anything like that yet. Okay, so I think as you can read in my voice, lots of confusion. And I'm not entirely convinced that I even want to bother trading through this today, but we'll have a look at the European session to see what's happening. Okay, so a rule of thumb for today is just watch your fractal levels on like a half hour. I think is going to be the best thing to do. There are my there are my fractals. So a break above this fractal, I have some longs. Break below this fractal, I've got some shorts. Now also bear in mind that these fractal areas to the upside here are going to be pretty tough to break during the European session. Okay, so my advice, wait for the actual open this afternoon and then watch what happens with these fractal levels. If they go, and obviously through the day we're going to move up or down, and you're going to adjust your lines to every new fractal. Okay, and so long as we're staying above the alligator on the half hour, the small term trend is up. And as long as we're staying below the alligator on the 4-hour, the long-term trend is brewing to the downside. Okay, so that's basically what I'm looking for at the moment, and I'm anticipating a second move down, to be honest. So I expect us to get some kind of congestion in this area as you look to the left here, but stay below the alligator and then get a second move to the downside. So I'm looking for a short entry. Okay, so, and I'll be watching that on the 12, 15 or half hour. Okay, so for now there's no real setup. Probably get a gap close at least today, and then sort of hover around this area before we start moving to the downside. The last thing I want to point out here is we do have a bit of a wedge break. So, not really a wedge, but if we take it like that, it's a wedge. So we do have a consolidation pattern, or a flag break. So I would expect a retest of a breakout. So this gap close would be the first thing I'd look at. And then secondly would be this low. In fact, I can adjust it to this fractal here on the 12-minute, because that would break below the alligator. But let's just stay safe. That's the area we're looking to break. Okay, so that's my view today. I am anticipating a second move to the downside, but I'm going to wait for the US Open before committing to that trade. But the setup that I see at the moment, there is a lot happening here. Okay. That's it for me today. I hope it helps, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.